Hey guys, hey guys, CryptoDad here again. Thanks for joining me on the Saturday night live stream live from Michigan, where you can throw out questions and I'll do my very best to get them answered. We'll talk about Bitcoin, we'll talk about the news, we'll talk about altcoins. I'm going to move some crypto around for you guys, and I'll do my very best to get to your questions and see if we can troubleshoot your problems on the fly. So let's get started. All right, welcome everybody. I'm here again with the rig. It's been kind of a boring week. Actually, there was a little bit of excitement about the middle of the week, or last weekend, I guess it was, over the holiday, the 3-day holiday, when Bitcoin did get up to, it crossed 32 briefly. But it's since gone back to where it was before, the tight range that it has been in for about a month now. So, let's jump in. I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. Let's see if we can make some sense of this. I want to talk to you guys tonight about some of the finer points of self-custody and what Bitcoin is and what it isn't, and what cryptos are and what they aren't. So some good discussions tonight. So let's see, where are we here? Let's go over here. And let's see, JDO is here. Great, thanks for coming, JDO, one of the moderators. Scott Lee was here early. Good to have Scott here, as always. Amsterdam, Holland. Kenneth, Matt is here. Joanne L, Grand Illusion. Good to have Grand Illusion back in the live stream. Matt says he's been on an exchange for over a year. But it's come to the point where the safest option is a no-brainer. Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about self-custody. It seems to be gaining more momentum lately. A few weeks back, Coinbase, there was some kind of, I don't know if it was a leak or something they announced or something that was brought to the forefront about their policies as far as their custody of people's crypto and what might happen to those holdings if they go bankrupt, right? And then a big deal was made about it. But really, those policies are in place with almost every company. They're legally protected if they go bankrupt. You know, banks have the same policy, right? You know, if the bank goes bankrupt, your money goes with it pretty much too. You know, and they're, oh, we got FDIC, but FDIC is, there's not enough money in the FDIC reserve to cover everyone if we have a major bank run or, you know, a major financial issue where the banks go under en masse. There will not be enough money in the FDIC reserve fund to cover all of the depositors. So it's just kind of security theater anyway. Anyway, this thing about Coinbase speaks to the issue of self-custody and why you should be putting your cryptos in your own wallets rather than letting them sit on exchanges, right? Especially now more than ever when we seem to be having all of this uncertainty in markets and the US currency and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, welcome here. Let's pop out chat, move it over to the other side. We'll jump into the news here shortly. And let's see, I guess let's do that. Let's jump into the news real quick. So, pardon me, we're market wrap as usual. What's been going on with the crypto markets? They've been boring lately. I've been personally pretty bored with them. Yeah. Analysts expect price bounce to remain short term. You know, we're at this point where, and it's not just the crypto market, it's also the greater stock market, bond market, U.S. economy, all that kind of stuff. We're at this point where we've had a drop since the beginning of the year. We're at what could be a bottom, right? But there's a lot of discussion one way or the other over whether we're at the bottom we're ready to go back up, or we're in for more pain, right? That's been the narrative. And, you know, who do you trust? Can you trust anybody? Should you really trust anybody? I mean, I scour the news, I scour charts, I check the price of Bitcoin on my phone, the price of my portfolio on my phone several times a day. I have a sense of how markets go up and down, but as to whether anybody has a magic crystal ball that knows whether Bitcoin is going down to 20, which is, there's a lot of talk about that, we don't know, right? And then the same with the stock market. A lot of people are saying that most stocks are overvalued and it's due for a huge crash. And then there are other people that are saying buy the dip, right? So we never really know. But so here we are at this historic inflection point, right? And so here's our latest. Altcoins underperform as bearish sentiment rises. Bitcoin declined from a high of 36.58 during the New York trading day. This was Friday. Cryptocurrency is up by 3% over the past week because we were down around 29 last week, right? They talk about some other coins here down. Sentiment remains bearish. We're at the sort of the same spot with traditional markets, as I mentioned. Gold was lower on Friday. Compared with over the last 3 months, we've got a 25% loss in Bitcoin and a 4% dip in the S&P 500 over the same period. I thought it was more. I thought we talked about this last week. I think that's just weekly. Oh, 3 months. Okay, 3 months. All right. I think last week we were talking about yearly figures, and the S&P is much lower percentage-wise over the year, right? And will we have a short-term upswing? Will we not have a short-term upswing? We don't know for sure. So there's a lot of talk and the comparisons to previous drawdowns and things like that. Talking about what happened in 2017 and how long it takes for BTC and ETH to recover. As I mentioned, I believe last week, it's tough to make comparisons between the crypto market of today and the crypto market of 2017, 2018, the crypto winter. Crypto was an outlier technology back in those days. And even though the market is currently down, we have a lot more adoption now than we did back then. There's a lot more big players involved in crypto. There's a lot more companies that are involved in blockchain technology in one form or another. There's a lot of new cryptocurrencies out there that are taking advantage of blockchain technologies. We really didn't have much DeFi back in 2017. We didn't have play to earn blockchain-based video games. We didn't have NFTs back in 2017 and 18. So it's really hard to draw correlations between the markets, you know. But I guess you can, based purely on Bitcoin's price action or Ethereum's price action. But overall, the cryptocurrency market has evolved quite a bit since then. Right. But if you want to check out this article in detail, I have all of these articles linked down below in the description. We've got some stuff we're going to do tonight in the description. I dropped a new video, unlisted, about the Ballet Crypto wallet. We'll talk about that a little more. It'll go live tomorrow, so you guys can check that out. I've been working pretty closely with the Ballet company and my contact person there. So we're going to time out the drop of this video with a Twitter contest where they're going to give away one of these Ballet Crypto. Which camera am I on? Camera 3, camera 4. This Tiger version of the Ballet Crypto wallet. We'll talk more about that. That goes pretty much into that discussion about self-custody and trust and what crypto is and what crypto isn't. And I have all of my affiliate links here. If you're interested in any of these products, give them a try and use my link. I would appreciate it. We got some cool links here for some more stuff you might be interested in. And like I mentioned, the news stories, right? So you can read those more in your own. Now, one of the big stories that just broke is that New York State Senate has passed a Bitcoin mining moratorium. Now, this does not mean that the law is in effect, right? This just means that it passed the Senate, and it still needs the governor's signature. I would assume she's going to sign it, but she hasn't yet, right? So, and basically they're still on this understanding or belief or narrative that Bitcoin proof of work mining is bad for the environment, that it's not green, that the world is going to die if Bitcoin continues to exist, this kind of stuff, right? But we've talked about this over and over again on my live stream. Bitcoin uses electricity, and so does everything else in the world. The financial system uses electricity. The banking system uses electricity. The U.S. government uses electricity. Grocery stores, the food system and distribution system in the United States uses electricity. To say that Bitcoin is bad because it uses electricity is just ludicrous, right? And Bitcoin also, Bitcoin proof of work mining takes advantage of other types of energy. The figures vary, but it could be anywhere from 15 to 30 to 40, even higher of a percentage of Bitcoin proof of work mining that is taking advantage of alternate forms of energy. So I'm personally really tired of hearing people bash Bitcoin because it's bad for the environment. It's just kind of one of those narratives that was foisted upon Bitcoin by the powers that be, and it's been debunked, if you want to, many times, and it's not a black and white issue, but New York continues to harp on this, or at least a majority of the people in their Senate are saying that Bitcoin proof of work mining is bad for the environment, so they're putting a moratorium on it. And that's not an outright ban either, right? It's a moratorium, so it's complicated, but it is big news, and it's good and bad for people in New York, and people in New York and businesses in New York, right? One person in this article mentioned that they're worried that if this goes through, it's going to be bad for business in New York, and that Bitcoin mining companies will move down to more friendly crypto states like Texas and Florida, right? So is this good for New York is the question, right? And is it good for crypto or is it bad for crypto, right? Well, on the surface, it's kind of bad for crypto because now, a casual observer is going to read this and think, oh, Bitcoin, it must be bad because they're banning it, right? They don't know what the difference between Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining is, really? So it's kind of bad for Bitcoin. And anything that's bad for Bitcoin is bad for the whole crypto ecosystem, right? Because most people equate Bitcoin with all crypto. In many ways, that's not a bad generalization, but we all know here that there is a huge difference between proof of work and proof of stake. And there are a lot of big proof of stake companies out there like Cardano and Polkadot and Ethereum. Well, not quite Ethereum yet. Ethereum is still kind of proof of work still. But there are a lot of proof of stake blockchains out there. But proof of stake is not the end-all be-all that it is touted, because Luna was a proof of stake network and it failed spectacularly. And one of its weaknesses, and one of the many weaknesses of a lot of the proof of stake cryptos, are that they suffer from the centralization problem, right? They become centralized because big node operators have all the power, right? And then some people will accuse Bitcoin of that, with big mining firms having all the power, but they really aren't making the big decisions about Bitcoin, right? Just because they have a lot of mining power doesn't mean that they have the power to change the Bitcoin code. That is spoken about, but probably not even a reality. Pretty tough. But anyway, so this law passed. It has not passed yet, but it has passed the Senate. So, but pretty big news in the crypto community. And then this is a little more of an esoteric article about environmentalists, the environmentalists' campaign to change Bitcoin's code. I believe this is just gaslighting, as far as I'm concerned. I don't think there's this huge movement out there to try to rewrite the code of Bitcoin to be more environmentally friendly. I think this is just some, it's probably just a few people that are shills that are like pretending. I don't, you can't really trust anything in this world this day. There are so many narratives. There are so many fact checkers out there. There's so much censorship on just any kind of idea that people discuss in public, right? So, if you think about, I'll just give you one big example. For years, the cigarette industry were paying shill doctors to say that cigarettes did not they couldn't say cigarettes did not cause cancer, but they could say that the data that says that cigarettes cause cancer was not solved or settled, or they were casting doubt, right? So that's just one way that, and now we all know cigarettes cause cancer now, but back then the cigarette companies were able to control the narrative by paying small sector of authoritative voices, doctors, white lab coats, saying that, well, we don't know for sure that cigarettes cause cancer. And this went on for years, right? I would talk about more recent examples, but I don't want to get banned from YouTube, right? So we'll leave it at that. Narratives can be controlled, and grassroots movements are often started by, interested parties. We'll just leave it at that, right? But anyway, but this article goes into how complicated it is to try to change the code of Bitcoin, and what happened in the past to update the code of Bitcoin. For those of you who don't know what the F I'm talking about, Bitcoin is it's something that you can't hold in your hand. Of course, it's a digital form of currency, right? Decentralized, but it's many things. But it is also software. There is a code base for Bitcoin that resides. I'm here on the GitHub webpage where the code base for Bitcoin resides, and here are all the people that are working on Bitcoin, right? And these people are the coders that are working on the Bitcoin code base, right? They're constantly updating and writing new code and improvements and bug fixes, and sometimes there are major changes that have to be decided on to get implemented, and there are people that have to discuss this and decide this, and then it gets implemented in code. So it's not just a cut and dried thing where 10 people in a boardroom vote about which direction Bitcoin is going, right? It is public open source software, so it's not easy to get the code changed. So anyway, this is a pretty interesting article, kind of about the issues with how things change in the Bitcoin code base and who makes the decisions basically. I'm not going to go heavy into it, right? But for those of you who are interested, you can look a little more. But I just wanted you guys to be aware that changing the code. Oh, I can't believe this is happening again. Oh no. Why? Why? What have I done? Oh, Lord in heaven. We're having OBS issues again. And my internet appears to be fine. I don't know what is going on. I'm really sorry about this. I'm aware. Nothing has changed since I fixed my rate. I changed my video bit rate to 4,500, and I thought that had solved the issue. We had been going great for the last few weeks, and now all of a sudden OBS is acting up on me again. I apologize profusely. Okay. All right, so let's move into crypto winter, right? Got this nice winter scene. Are exchange layoffs the first sign of crypto winter, or is it already over, right? Here we go. Nobody knows for sure whether we're in a new crypto winter or we're at the end of the current crypto winter, right? It would be nice, but nobody knows for sure. But Coinbase pretty much dropped the ball as far as their policies go. They made a lot of people upset. And not only the people that they had hired, and then they made a decision to not hire them, or or cancel their hiring, but also people, stockholders in Coinbase, are upset because what happened was Coinbase suddenly made this decision to rescind existing offers to new hires. So not only did this screw over these people that they said, they say you're hired, they shake their hand, and then, these people give their 2 weeks notice, and then Coinbase turns around and says, well, you know what, we can't hire you. We canceled that. It makes Coinbase look really bad. It makes them look like they weren't prepared for this financial situation of the crypto market being down. It makes them look like jerks, and it makes them look unprofessional and not prepared. So not a very good look for Coinbase, right? But we also have another big exchange, Gemini. They talk about it in here. I don't see it. Of course, I probably slid right by it. I watch myself after the fact, and I watch myself slide right by what I'm looking for as I'm watching the video the next day. Anyway, Gemini. Oh, here it is. Finally. The layoff announcement came from the Winklevoss twins. Gemini exchange may be the most provocatively framed in announcing a cutting of 10% of staff. Gemini predicted the entire industry was entering a period of stasis and explicitly warned of a coming crypto winter. And Gemini is run by the Winklevoss twins, who have been the most ardent Bitcoin enthusiasts for several years now, right? And for this company to cut staff and say that, crypto winter is coming is problematic, right? But once again, we're just talking about opinions, right? And we're talking about businesses. We're not talking about Bitcoin itself. We're just talking about exchange businesses. So just because people aren't trading as much, or the trading volume has gone down and their business is suffering, does not mean that there's anything in particularly wrong with Bitcoin. The current price of Bitcoin does not affect its functionality in any way or form, right? And people that believe in Bitcoin still believe in Bitcoin. It still can be used. It still works. The blockchain is functioning, right? So, but we're just talking about businesses that are involved in the trading of cryptocurrencies not doing so well, right? But of course, most of you are probably into the investment side if you're here. So it affects everyone in that way. All right, let's see. Oh yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about this. Let me get caught up with chat. Make sure that I'm not ignoring anyone. Dan is here. Thanks for being here tonight, Dan. I appreciate it, as usual. What am I doing over here? Let's turn that one off for a second. I want to get over here so I can jump into the chat window, see what's happening. Let's see. Oh, okay. Hello, everyone, for joining. Josh, Ken, Jose, Bullish Wiz from Spain, and Jose Carlos from Portugal, and Bullish Wiz from Spain. Robaro from Australia. Man, it's cool that I got people all over the world checking in with me. I hope it's not too late or too early for you guys. We shifted the live stream. We used to start at 6 p.m. Pacific time, which was like 3 hours later than what we're doing now. When I moved to Michigan, I started doing it at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard. So I think that's a good sweet spot for everybody. But for those of you who are in other countries, if you're up late or early to join me, I really appreciate it. Didn't have a dad as a child. I find this channel comforting. Daddy issues. That's cool. I try to be as helpful and guiding as I can. And I try to assure you that you can do this. We talked last week or the week before about what I thought a father should be. And I tend to disagree with these dictator-type fathers that treat their kids like they're in the army. That's not my style. But, you know, we love, protect. You know, I think JDO mentioned, you know, if they're running out in the street, yeah, I'm going to grab them, you know, or I might scream at them if they're about to, you know, jump in front of a moving train. But, yeah, I mean, that falls under protection. So love, protect, teach. And I try to have that same attitude with the channel, and I want to help anyone that has an issue, if I can, right? Okay, so BitBoy is saying 1030. Wow, that's pretty stark. I've heard 20, but 10, that's pretty harsh, man. Wow. I don't know about that. It's hard to say, right? It's hard to say. But if it goes down to 10, it's going to take years to recover from that. You know, it's already bad enough as it is, right? It's going to be months, I believe, before it sees all-time highs again at this point. If just because of the way markets work, they don't just bounce back, you know, 50% overnight. And if Bitcoin goes down to 20, it might not be for a year or two before we see all highs again. Judging from inflation and war and quantitative tightening and or easing and rate hikes and all this other stuff that's been going on lately, I don't know what's going on with the world or where we're going to be. And food shortages, supply chain issues. There's just so much uncertainty in the world today that, you know, crypto, the value of my crypto portfolio may not be the biggest thing on my mind when I go to the grocery store and the shelves are empty, right? But anyway, so let me see. You Catsman channel, another dumb move by a lefty. These people are simpletons. The lack of intelligence is astounding. Google uses way more. Yes, good point. Catamaran, I'm looking back at comments that were made like 10-20 minutes ago by me. It's like a time machine. Solar panel and windmills on high-rise buildings, New York City? Question mark. Please don't get banned. I'll try. It happened once before, but YouTube or Google admitted that it was their mistake, not mine, that my channel was taken off the air for about 36 days. But it was not fun. Proof of stake is better, more secure. I agree. It's definitely the government. Pro tip, if you pause the stream for 5 or 10 minutes and watch a few minutes behind real time, there are no interruptions. Yes, Dan, that also crossed my mind. I can't bring myself to get rid of my alts at these prices. I feel the same way. I have some alts that are just so buried that I just couldn't. I mean, there's no point. And alt, like, for example, I'll just bring up one example, and it's heartbreaking. I have some Avalanche, right? Currently my Avalanche is worth about 2,000, what I have, but it's 3,600 in the red. I mean, even if I needed $2,000, I mean, I just couldn't stand to, sell it at a $3,600 loss. It's just unthinkable. Now, push may come to shove, right? And I might need that 2,000, right? But it's one of many, right? That are just so underwater. It just breaks my heart to sell it at this point. Of course, I could sell it and buy it right back again and try to take that crypto loss. That might work. But to sell it and then, use the money to, pay bills or whatever and not be able to get back in, I just don't know. It'd be heartbreaking. So someone mentioned BitBoy down at 10. I've heard some bad things about BitBoy. Not horrible things, he's a personality. But I read a good article about these crypto influencers a long time ago, and I was a bit jealous because they make a lot of money and they get a lot of views. But in the description of what you need to do to be one of these is that you always had to be bullish, right? Nobody wanted to hear bad stuff, right? So they were all bullish, right? Until now, the market's down, and now suddenly they've become bearish because that seems to be the du jour, right? Probably trying to save their reputation. Because, the same people that were chanting Bitcoin 100K in 2021 are now singing a different tune, right? That's why I try to stay away from the price prediction and the coin analysis stuff. I'll talk about fundamentals, and like all of you, I was quite enthralled and believed in Luna and thought it was a great idea, an algorithmic stablecoin that was pegged to the price of the US dollar. That was able to generate passive income. It was an idea whose time had come, and I still think it's a great idea because you don't get much of a return on investment when you save dollars in a bank, right? And this was like 20%, which what UST was paying 20% on Anchor. So I thought, and I still believe that system was not only too good to be true, in a way, right? Maybe another one might come along that's similar but not, quite as high. But the idea, I think that was a good idea. But I think the fact that people could make that kind of return even on a small scale, like on $100 or $500 investment, that was there were people that did not want to see that, right? There were people that have their stakes in the current debt-based financial system that did not want to see the little guy getting that kind of return on his money. And that's one of the reasons I believe that the Luna system was attacked the way that it was. And make no mistake, it was attacked. There was a large financial interest that was actively attacking the system by selling huge amounts of UST in order to break the peg. I don't mean to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but that whole term conspiracy theorist was invented by the CIA to describe anyone who doubted the Kennedy lone assassin theory, right? We're getting controversial here. Anyway, Luna was attacked, and no one really doubts that, right? Who and why, I can only imagine, right? Anyway, so let's see. I think we're done with the news, but I did want to talk about this article here about the community fires back at an anti-crypto letter sent to U.S. lawmakers. There was a letter sent to the U.S. lawmakers, signed by 26 tech personalities, right, that decried crypto in many forms. I've linked this article in the description down below, so you can check it out. And then right here, this part where it says described is where you can link to the actual letter if you wish to read it. And I kind of wanted to go through the letter. It was written to, I don't know, it was probably one of the finance committee or something like that. Right? It's very anti-crypto, right? And it's basically telling Congress, the interested parties in Congress, that crypto is bad and that we shouldn't be trying to give it a free pass by updating regulations to encourage crypto investment and or use, right? Very, very anti-crypto. We can, they want the lawmakers to take, one of the things that they mentioned here, it's kind of a long letter, but I wanted to, they talk about blockchain, right? The whole point of blockchain is that it's irreversible, that it's an immutable ledger, which means it cannot be changed. That is one of the features of blockchain technology. And they're attacking that because, and this is the thing, financial technologies that serve the public must always have mechanisms for fraud mitigation that allow a human in the loop to reverse transactions. Blockchains permit neither, right? I think we've talked about this a little bit before. This is very arrogant. This is I don't know if it's Western in general or just a U.S. mentality that you should be able to take back a financial transaction, right? That if I change my mind, I should be able to call somebody and get it reversed, right? I feel I got cheated, right? The salesman didn't represent it right, so I bought this computer. He told me it was a good computer. I got it home. I didn't know how to use it, so I took it back, and I want my money back because I don't think it's a good computer, and he said it was a good computer. That kind of mentality permeates American, or so we can call it Western thinking, is like, I got scammed. I want my money back, right? This is what blockchain is not about, right? A blockchain is a no take backs kind of ecosystem. And I kind of had to learn this when I first got into Bitcoin. And back in 2016, I was kind of playing around with Bitcoin on the internet and kind of fell in love with the way that it worked. Because it is a no take back system, right? You can't change your mind. Once you've sent a transaction, it's sent, right? It's a buyer beware kind of system. And so it forces you to become personally responsible for your decisions, right? There's no, can I get a take back on that? Can I get a do-over? Can I get a mulligan, right? That's not what Bitcoin and crypto is all about. But these, the people that wrote this letter say, oh yeah, that's how we should keep, blockchain should be like that, right? Cryptos should be, you should be able to call somebody and get a charge reversed if you got scammed, right? If somebody came and defrauded you, you should be able to get your money back, right? Yeah. You have total control over your Bitcoin, right? The only way you give up your Bitcoin is if you give up your private key. And if you give up your private key, then you obviously did not read the instructions when you were setting up a wallet, which very explicitly tells you never, ever, ever to reveal the private key, the backup phrase, to anyone, right? And that's usually how people get scammed. They click on a link and then they get taken to some place, and then like it says MetaMask and it says, ooh, your MetaMask is, been hacked. You need to, enter your passphrase and we'll fix it, right? Red flag. Don't do that, right? But then people get all butthurt after they get scammed because, oh, somebody should fix it for me, right? That's not what blockchain's about. I would like to give you, I don't know, I've told this story before, but I'm going to tell it once more. I was in Indonesia visiting my future wife, who's now my wife, and we were getting ready to, I was in Jakarta, and we were getting ready to take a short trip down to Yogyakarta, a plane trip, to visit Borobudur and another Pramban. I can't. Let me see if I can get this. That's Borobudur. I think this is the other one I'm thinking of. Ah, come on. What are you doing to me? Was that one I just clicked on? This one, Suwa Temple. I think we went there. That's near Yogyakarta too. Yeah, it's a Hindu, right? Borobudur is Buddhist. Really cool. Anyway, so we're getting ready to go down. It's near Bali, right? Yogyakarta is in the island of Java, kind of in the middle. We went to a mall in Jakarta, a high-end mall, right? We went into a high-end store, and I bought a bunch of stuff for the trip, and I bought some sunscreen, right? We paid. I'm pretty sure I paid with cash. I started to walk out, and then before I even got out the door, I did a double take on the receipt, and I was like, wait a minute, this doesn't seem right. Did I really spend that much money? I was already having the whole conversion. It's hard. But anyway, I realized that the sunscreen was like $8 in US. And I was like, whoa, that's ridiculous. I'm not paying $8 for a bottle of sunscreen. Should have been like $3 US or whatever. So I hadn't even walked out the door. And I turned around and went back and said, you know what? I don't want this sunscreen. And I showed, same person that just sold it to me. And she just looked at me like I was crazy. She's like, we don't take returns. And I'm like, wait a minute, I bought this just now. I have the receipt in my hand. You sold it to me. And what do you mean I can't get a receipt or a refund? And they're like, we don't do that. And I was like livid. I was so mad. You know what I did? In my arrogance, I just put it on the counter and said, I don't want this. I'm leaving. And just the shock on her face was enough that she's like, he's just going to walk out of the store and not take it to spite himself, right? He spent $8 on it and he wants his money back, but he can't give, I don't remember. Maybe that was a fair price. I felt it was too high. $8 for sunscreen, maybe. But anyway, the point is that in their country, they didn't have takebacks, right? It's buyer beware. You buy it, you bought it. That's it. End of discussion, right? And that's how crypto is, right? You send crypto, it's gone. Forget it. And I get a lot of people that they call me or they email me or they put in the comments and they're like, I sent some crypto somewhere and I can see it, right? It's in this wallet. How do I get it back? I'm like, you can't. If it's in It's like you can see it. Just because you see it wherever it went in some hacker's wallet does not mean it's possible to get. That's not the way Bitcoin works. Only the private key. And then there was, but anyway, the letter is interesting in that there's one sentence, if I can find it. It's going to be hard for me to find. Public blockchains are poorly suited for just about every purpose currently touted as a present or potential source of public benefit. There are better solutions. Okay, here it is. Come on, Rex, you can find it. Lots of scammers. Come on, Rex, where is this? Damn it. Ugh, I'm not going to be able to find it, damn it. Fuck. Anyway, they're criticizing the proof of work. Here we go, finally. Similarly, most public blockchain-based financial products are a disaster for financial privacy. Okay. The exceptions are a handful of emerging privacy-focused blockchain financial alternatives, and these are a gift to moneylenders. Okay. So it's bad because it's not private, and it's bad because it is private. There's a Twitter thread, and I think you can link to the Twitter thread from this article. Yeah, Byrne dissected the letter, right? And his comment was, oh, here we go. Here it is. So public blockchains are bad because no privacy, except for privacy ones, which are bad because they offer privacy, right? I took issue when I read that as well. I'm like, okay, so blockchain's bad because it's public, but there are some ones that are good and that maintain privacy, but they're bad too because they're used by money launderers. So anyway, it's a good discussion about what crypto is about, right? And this kind of leads me, and I hope I don't lose you guys too much, but this leads us to a discussion about the Ballet wallet, which I talked about last week. Right? The Ballet wallet is a Bitcoin wallet that comes on a card. And this one's in a case at the moment, and then they also have like the higher end one that has like the plexiglass. It's pretty cool. Now, the interesting thing, or the advantage of this card, is that everything you need. Oh, and everything you need is on the card. Right, you've got the public address, and then you also have the private passphrase, which is under a scratch off, just like a gift card. And then underneath this is a sticker, you can peel it off, is the private key. Right. So the reason I scoured this letter earlier was because I could have sworn they said something about the fact that any financial instrument that you could lose access to because you forgot a password or misplaced a backup phrase is not a good financial instrument, right? So they were criticizing the self-custody aspect of crypto, right? So this is a solution to that, right? Because it's idiot-proof in the sense that you can't lose access to it because there are no passwords, there are no moving parts, there is no backup phrase because the private key is on the device under the sticker. Of course, it needs to be kept physically secure. I get that, right? We all get that. It's physically secure. But one of the controversies about this particular wallet is that the private key is generated at a factory, right? By the manufacturer, by the company, right? They generate the private key, they print it on the device, and then the mnemonic phrase is generated at a different location in the U.S., right? The card is made in Shanghai. The mnemonic phrase is generated in their Las Vegas office and printed on the card. And so what they're saying is no one person has full access to the private key, right? And then they also say that when they generate the private key, they do it on air-gapped computers and they print it on the card, and then the next card, that computer that generates the private key overwrites the previous one, right? So that private key, once it's printed on the card, is the only private key, right? It gets overwritten, and that there are only a couple of people that are involved in this top-level process. And the argument here is that if they were stealing private keys, that these few people would immediately be implicated and suffer legal consequences, prison, whatever, right? It's kind of the same argument as to why doesn't the bank manager just take home all the money in the vault, right? He has access to it. Well, he would immediately be arrested. You know, it would be obvious who did it, right? Same concept with this company. But what it boils down to in the end is that you have to put at some point in this process, you have to trust them, right? And that's anti-crypto, right? A lot of people have said, oh, that's anti-crypto because your crypto is supposed to be trustless, right? A ledger device generates a random private key on the device in your presence, right? And the design of the ledger is such that it has been tested and certified that that's what it does, right? It generates private keys. If it didn't, it would be obvious, right? So we don't really have to trust the ledger that much. I mean, in a way, we have to trust that it does what it says it does. But it's certified and it's been around for a while. But with the Ballet, we're taking that just a notch higher. We're trusting them to print this private key, albeit in two different locations, but we have to trust them, right? But what this wallet solves is the issue that, I guess not this letter, but some critics of crypto have said is the fact that people cannot be trusted, right, to manage their own private keys and their own backups, and it's too risky if you can lose your crypto by not setting up your wallet properly or losing your backup or forgetting your password or your PIN or whatever, right? This solves that problem, right? Because everything is here. So I probably wouldn't put all of my Bitcoin on this card, but I would use this card in some situations, right? It's also great for gifting Bitcoin, right? So it serves a niche of the community that has a problem with self-custody, right? So I can gift Bitcoin to my father who doesn't really want to figure out how to work the ledger and get it all set up and, you know, all the niceties. He just has Bitcoin. He can put it on his mantle and say, hey, look, my son gave me this Bitcoin, you know, and they'll say, oh, well, how do you get it out? And he'll say, I don't know, my son will help me when the time comes, right? But it's trivial. But it all goes to that there's no black or white, right? Maybe at some point in the future, Bobby Lee and his, you know, small group of criminals that started this Ballet wallet are going to steal everybody's crypto, but I don't believe that that's going to happen, right? Why would anyone go in the business of, you know, stealing people's crypto? It's bad for your reputation, right? It's the same. It's the same for every business, right? Doesn't it seem like that? Another analogy from Indonesia was there were a lot of street carts. It was really cool, you know. You'd wake up in the morning or at night, you'd hear them out on the street, and you could just walk out your front door and flag somebody down that had like a little nasi goreng cart or a ayam babur or whatever, you know, and they'd cook you something. You just brought them out a bowl, right? And they'd cook you something right there and give it to you. And my mother was like, don't they inspect those people? I mean, don't they have like licenses for, I mean, like, if the guy's running around selling poison rice, he's not going to be in business very long, right? So you trust the process, right? Anyway, that's Ballet Wallet, right? We kind of have to trust them a little bit, right? And most people don't really understand how ledgers work, so they're putting their trust in that process too. Although Ledger is a little more secure because it doesn't generate the private key at the factory, it generates it on your device in your presence, right? And once it does that, you know, nobody else knows that private key. And if you take what Ballet Wallet says to heart, they don't keep track of that private key either, right? But we have to trust them when they tell us that. Hang on just a sec. Alex, what is that? Can you turn that off? What is that noise? Thank you, buddy. I'm doing my live stream, buddy. I don't know what he's doing. Darth Vader wants your crypto. All right, so let's jump into some more. Oh, yeah, I was like, I couldn't get into my password manager. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, I was like, whoa, I can't get into my password manager. I'm not going to be able to log into my exchanges, right? I was going to buy some Bitcoin and some Ethereum and drop it into a wallet, right? So just check my bank account. We got some money in there. It's a good thing. Let's go to, I don't know. I always do Coinbase Pro. Let's try something else, right? Let's do, I don't know, should we do Coinbase? I'm at a loss here. Let's just do a Coinbase for people that are new. Just to give you a feel for what I mean when I say self-custody your crypto. So we have our Ledger device, right? Let's see here. Oh, I could drop some on the Ballet wallet. Why don't I show you how that works, right? I'll drop some on this Ballet wallet. Let me see if I can get my phone to share with you guys here real quick. A lot of people ask me about the software that I'm using for sharing my phone. It's called X Mirage. You can Google it. It's a great piece of software. It's like 20 bucks. And you can share your phone screen with your computer. Your computer can't control the phone though. That would be kind of cool, but it does not do that. Doggone it. Oh, it's not cooperating with me. Okay. Doggone it. Yeah, I should have done this before. Well, I guess OBS is okay. I did have a scare there a while back. All of a sudden, OBS started acting up again. Yeah, I guess I'm not going to be able to share my phone with you guys. It is, I'll have to admit, it's a little finicky because it uses my Wi-Fi, and sometimes it works beautifully, and other times it's just very stubborn, just won't work. Okay, I'm going to try one more time. It's frustrating. Okay. If not, we'll just take a different tack. We'll just put it in our ledger, because I can do that. Nah, it's not going to do it. It's just not going to work for me. I don't have time to like reboot my computer and reboot the phone and go through all that stuff. It's just really frustrating. I need it to work and it won't work. Okay. All right. Let's move on. It's not going to happen. Okay. All right. So let's go to my Bitcoin wallet, right? We got a Bitcoin wallet over here, Bitcoin main. So I can, for those of you with questions about Ledger Live, you can create more than one Bitcoin account associated with one device, right? So I have two right now. I've got this one called Bitcoin Affiliate, which is a SegWit account, and then I have Bitcoin Main, which is a native SegWit account. I could always add a new Bitcoin account if I wanted to. That would, and add an empty Bitcoin account and have three. All wallets on this device, right? All derived from the master private key of this device. I'm going to go ahead and enter my PIN real quick. Okay. All right, and it wants me to open up my Bitcoin app, which I will do. Hi, Barbara. It's good to have you here. Wow. Okay. Okay, there we go. Open Bitcoin app, right? It says open Bitcoin app, so I'm going to hit both buttons. So, I have my device connected to my computer. I'm in Ledger Live, the software for managing all of the Bitcoin wallets. The private keys are all on this device, right? The device generates that master private key randomly when you initialize the device. It gives you a backup phrase of 24 words, which you write down, store in a safe place if anything ever happens to the device. A lot of you have been here many times, but I still get a lot of people that ask me, what happens what if your little toy breaks? Then what? And it's that there's a backup phrase. And I have also been getting a lot of questions lately about what if Ledger goes out of business? Then what? Well, the 24-word backup phrase is an industry standard. You can use that backup phrase to recover your wallets in other types of wallets, right? The Trust wallet, the Bitcoin Electrum wallet, I don't know about Exodus, but there are a lot of industry standard wallets out there that can recover your crypto into that wallet if Ledger goes out of business, which is not going to happen, but I get that question a lot. What if Ledger goes out of business? Notice here that there's a bunch of old wallets associated with this device. These are wallets that I used for a while and then decided to, move everything into a newer wallet and start fresh, right? It's just the way I use the wallet, right? So there are quite a few old wallets that I'm not going to deal with. But notice this one here, add new account. This is what I'm saying. I could add a brand new account. Let's just call this one new. And this is a brand new empty Bitcoin wallet. Now I also have this toggle here. I could create 4 different types of wallets, the Taproot, the SegWit, or the Legacy wallet, but I'm going to stick to the newest one, the native SegWit, the most recent. Right? So we just hit add account, and there we go. So you can manage multiple Bitcoin wallets. You can create multiple Bitcoin wallets. Wallet is kind of a overlapping term. I can call this a wallet even though it's more of a keychain. I can call Ledger Live a wallet because it manages crypto, but it also has accounts within it, and each account can be considered a separate wallet, if you want to think of it that way as well. You can manage multiple Ledger devices in one copy of Ledger Live. You'll notice here that I've got some accounts like this Litecoin is a different device. I've named it accordingly, but it's associated with a different Ledger device. So you can create multiple accounts on one device within Ledger Live of the same crypto if you want, and you can have multiple cryptos that you manage in Ledger Live, and then you can also manage multiple devices in the same copy of Ledger Live. Those are very common questions, so I thought I'd just kind of cover them all right now. But anyway, we're going to use Bitcoin main, and we're going to do a receive, and we'll do continue here, and it's going to verify that this account is associated with this device, right? If I had the wrong device attached, I would have got an error message, right? So I'm just confirming. I can see the Bitcoin address on the device, and I can see the Bitcoin address on my screen, and this is just a confirmation that I have the right device attached for this account, right? If it was the wrong device, I would get an error message, and then maybe I could try a different device for whatever account I have in Ledger Live. A lot of times people get the wrong device attached or the wrong configuration. They've reset the device, and so now it doesn't match the account they set up. A lot of things can happen, right? You kind of have to, there's a learning curve, right? You've got to know, you've got to be willing to do some research if you want to get involved in crypto. It took me months to wrap my head around what Bitcoin is and was and how it works. And it's, I have years of experience dealing with Ledger Live, right? So the easiest case is just buy a Ledger, set up one Bitcoin account and store your Bitcoin there, and just do it, live and move on, right? It's not that difficult. But if you get into the niceties and resetting the devices and troubleshooting, when things go wrong, that's where you need to have that willingness to do some research and figure out what went wrong, right? So anyway, there it is. I'm gonna turn this off for a second. We'll go back over to Coinbase. Let's go ahead and just buy some Bitcoin, right? We'll buy $50 worth of Bitcoin on Coinbase. It's gonna cost me some money, right? I can choose, I have several different bank accounts attached to my Coinbase account, right? So it's going to come right out of my bank account, ACH transfer, but it's going to cost me a little bit, right? So if I spend $50, they're going to charge me $2. So I'm going to end up with $48 worth of Bitcoin. There are cheaper ways to buy Bitcoin, right? There are other exchanges where you can buy Bitcoin, even Coinbase Pro, where you deposit your money first and then trade for Bitcoin. In this case, it's gonna I can buy the Bitcoin directly. It'll pull it out of my bank and apply it to the purchase automatically. But they're gonna charge me for that, $2, right? But anyway, so let's go ahead. We'll buy now. Bitcoin's at 29,914 according to Coinbase. Coinbase is still the easiest place to buy Bitcoin in my opinion, right? A little bit of a premium, but the ease of use, and it's got pretty good uptime. It's pretty easy to get an account set up. Most banks and debit cards will support it. I mean, sometimes you're trying to set up something funky like MoonPay, and your ATM card will reject it. That just happened to me the other day. I was trying to demo in a video, and I had to sign up for MoonPay, and I tried to use my debit card, and I got a message from my bank that says, we don't support MoonPay. So figure out another, and basically that's what they said. They're like, we don't support MoonPay. So Coinbase supports Most banks support Coinbase, right? You can use your debit or your credit card or your bank account. Right? So that's why I tend to recommend Coinbase, because easy to use and it's kind of hassle-free, right? So I don't know if there was some Bitcoin in there already. I guess not. Let's just refresh here. There was a balance. Okay, now my balance is 92. Oh, I bought $50 worth of Bitcoin and there was like 40 in there. Okay, so there was some Bitcoin in there already. No big deal. Let's go ahead and withdraw it from Coinbase, right? So a lot of people buy their Bitcoin and then they just leave it on Coinbase, which is fine, right? But a lot of people recently have been concerned that Coinbase might go bankrupt or some crazy thing might happen and they might lose access to their Bitcoin. That's a possibility, right? Because it's not your Bitcoin. They're holding it on your behalf, right? So something crazy could happen and you wouldn't be able to get your Bitcoin, right? It's not really yours, right? So in order to self-custody Bitcoin, you would move it to your own wallet. This has always been a big part of the crypto community. Not your keys, not your coin. Self-custody. But over the last couple of years, with the market being so euphoric and people making so much money, I think people sort of got away from that and they were just like trading on exchanges and sort of forgot about the whole self-custody issue, right? So we just want to move Bitcoin into our own wallet. So we'll do send receive. We're going to send it from our exchange to our wallet, right? I'll send it all. Ah, why don't I have it all? What happened? Oh, are they holding it? Oh, those. How could they? How could they do that to me? Let's see. Let's just double check here. Let's go to my wallet. Okay. Yeah. Take it. Let's try this again. Okay, let's see if I can go to the Bitcoin wallet and check my transaction history. Are they going to let me do that? Okay, there. Okay, it says completed. So why won't they let me withdraw it? Maybe there's like okay. I'm hoping that this phone thing is going to work. All right, let's try it again. Let's send all. Nope, it's only going to let me send that little bit that was already in there for some reason. It says it's completed. That's kind of weird. Huh. Okay. Let's refresh again, see if we can get it. Did I not buy Bitcoin? Oh, wow. Okay. So apparently Bitcoin is holding that Bitcoin, waiting for something. I don't know what. Usually when I buy Bitcoin on Coinbase, it is immediately available to withdraw. But not tonight for some reason. Okay. Well, I thought the phone thing was going to work, but it didn't. All right. It's not going to happen, is it? Having some major fails tonight. Okay, let's just send this 44 if that's how you're going to be about it. Okay. Be that way. I don't need an optional message. Let's see. We'll do our authenticator code here. Oh, okay. Can't get my phone to share. Can't get Coinbase to give me my Bitcoin. Having a rough night. Oh boy. Oh wait, no, that's them telling me I just sent that little bit. Okay. Yeah, I'm just like, I don't understand why they won't let me withdraw that Bitcoin. Okay. Actually, it's probably still going to say I have the 92, right? Huh. They should say that it's gone out, but it hasn't. Yeah, Bitcoin's kind of slow to Bitcoin. Coinbase. There it goes. Sent Bitcoin. Okay. All right. Trying to show you how easy it is, and it's like being really difficult tonight. All right. So let's go somewhere else to get our Ethereum. Let's go to Kraken to get our Ethereum. This one I have a YubiKey. I just kind of touch my YubiKey and I get myself signed in. Every time I log in, it said they got a new coin. All right, so we're going to do a buy crypto here. We'll buy some Ethereum. We'll buy 50 bucks worth of Ethereum, but I'm going to need to do that out of my bank account. All right, we'll just confirm that. Their fees are lower, right? 99 cents. Kraken is a little more difficult to use, but it's getting better, right? It's been getting better over time. Their interface has improved. This buy crypto thing is fairly new. It used to be that the only way to make a purchase on Kraken was to trade, and you had to wire money to them first, and that could take a few days, right? So it really wasn't that user friendly as far as like a new person buying Bitcoin for the first time. But they've added this buy crypto feature that makes it a little easier, right? So if we go to funding here, we can see that we've got some Ethereum now in our account. Why is it giving me DOT? Okay. Oh, I see. I gotta go to US dollar BTC. Alright, now it gives me, that's another weird thing about, alright, so now it's giving me the value in US dollar over here. Alright, so I want to put this ETH in my wallet as well. I'm going to go ahead and dismiss this. And we should see that 44 come in from Coinbase. Oh boy, what a night. And okay, while I'm waiting for that, I'm going to go over to Ethereum main. Right, I'm going to get my receiving address from them. I can do that confirmation again, like we just did with the Bitcoin, and watch what happens when I do this. It bombs me out of the Bitcoin app, and then it asks me to open the Ethereum app, and then it's going to confirm that address for me. Right, so I see the address on my device, and I see it on my screen. Right, there's the address. We can eyeball that and make sure it's the same, and then I can go over here and approve that on mine. All right, and there we go. Now we can go back over to Kraken and just do a withdraw. I don't need the device anymore. All I was doing with the device was confirming the receiving address. I'm not sending crypto out, I'm receiving it. So let's see, I believe I've already got this address in there, right? That's the one. So we can just take it as read, right? Let's just do it one more time without the device. 707-2445. 707-2. See, I've already whitelisted this address. If I had not done that yet, I would just hit add address and then I would put in the address. But since it's already whitelisted, we'll just go ahead and withdraw it straight out into our wallet. Let's see, 0.003 Ethereum. Oh, the net. Oh, withdrawal note. Okay. Here's the fee. So let's see, how much are they charging me to withdraw? Usually it's, oops, okay, $6. Not cheap, right? Because we only bought $50. So that's a horrendous charge, percentage-wise, to make our withdrawal. So crypto is not cheap to deal with, right? So we're still in the early stages of crypto. But I'm going to go ahead and do it. Where to go? I'm going to do it? Yeah. I don't need the two-factor because I logged in with it, right? So they don't make me, I don't need the two-factor to make a withdrawal once I'm in. Every site has slightly different security. Let's go back over here. Let's get done with this. And let's go back over to that Bitcoin main. Let's see if we get that Bitcoin yet. Should be coming in soon. All right. So let me just see what you guys are talking about over here. Scott, I'm glad you're here. You don't trust China? Okay, I get it. My banker isn't Chinese. Aloha, Barbara. Is there a way to get Coinbase Pro crypto to be instantly accessible after buying? Not really. When you deposit money in Coinbase Pro, you can trade immediately, but you cannot withdraw until the bank deposit has cleared. It's like a normal process, right? Because Coinbase has one toe in the traditional financial world, and then the other toe or finger is in the crypto world, right? So you could buy the crypto immediately, but in order to make your withdrawal, that would be taking value out of your account that Coinbase is not verified yet. Remember we talked about takebacks earlier? You could make a $100 deposit in Coinbase and then buy Bitcoin and then immediately withdraw it and then call your bank and say, you know what? I screwed up, somebody scammed me, cancel that transaction. And your bank would go, yes, sir, Mr. Knisely. And they would cancel it. And then Coinbase would be out $100 worth of Bitcoin. Because that's how the banking system works. That's how, a normal, because that the financial system has that take-back component, Coinbase is not going to allow you to withdraw the Bitcoin immediately because that's an irreversible transaction. They can't get that Bitcoin back. So they're not going to give you that Bitcoin until your transaction from your bank has cleared. And that takes like 3 to 5 business days. That's just the way the financial system works. What you can do is put money in Coinbase preemptively, and then you can do your trade later, right? You can wait for Bitcoin to go down or whatever you're waiting for. If that money has been in your account for long enough, then they're not going to withhold the withdrawal because the money has already cleared. But there's no way to deposit money in Coinbase Pro and immediately withdraw your whatever Bitcoin you buy because they haven't confirmed the money from your bank account yet. Yeah, that's how the financial system works. Let's see. Exchanges have to protect themselves against double spending just like crypto does, but by a government-approved transaction. Are we up for 2 years winter like the last cycle? Oh, God, please no. Oh, my gosh. I guess we'll have to, right? We had no choice. All right, are we still waiting for this? Let me get out. Let me relaunch Ledger Live. Let's, we'll just confirm these 2 transactions. I'm still pissed that Coinbase won't let me withdraw that Bitcoin I just bought. Because normally they will do that when I use that ACH. There, I got some value in the account. So Bitcoin main, Bitcoin main still, no, that's crazy. But I got the Ethereum from Kraken apparently. Yeah, we just got the 40, no, is that it? Yeah, that's today. $42 out of my 50. Not that good, huh? That's what we have to deal with, right? But the idea, at least for me, is that it's a long-term investment. And I think that's why a lot of people leave their crypto on the exchange, because they don't want to have to deal with the withdrawal fees. And they can be problematic, right? So self-custody is going to cost you a little bit, right? But if you're dollar cost averaging and you're accumulating over time, in the long run, if your investment in this emerging technology pays off, you're not going to be worried about that, those $6 fees. That's the idea, right? But it still hurts. There are cheaper ways, like even on, if you're going to buy Ethereum, say on like through MetaMask, on Uniswap or something like that, you're still going to get hit with fees, trading fees, withdrawal fees, right? But transfer fees. But depending on where you decide to keep your crypto, you could trade directly out of a ledger-based account in Uniswap and have no need to make a withdrawal. Once you've made that trade, it's right in your wallet. But you're still dealing with Ethereum fees for the trades. Coinbase won't let you withdraw immediately. There's a 2-week period. I don't have to wait 2 weeks. I don't know if they're doing that to new accounts or what the story is. But usually I can withdraw right away when I make this purchase on Coinbase. If I do it with my ACH and I pay that merchant fee, they'll let me make the withdrawal right away. I'm surprised that they did not tonight. They usually do. Was I trying to sell? I wasn't trying to sell. Oh, send. Nope, they still won't let me send it. Wow. Okay. Bully for Coinbase. Not that happy about that. Bully, that should be good, right? No, I'm mad. Why won't they let me withdraw it? But Kraken let me withdraw my Ethereum right away. Even though they charged me an arm and a leg for it, but they let me withdraw it. And like I said, I usually can do it on Coinbase. But Coinbase Pro is different, right? Because for whatever reason, they hold, it's usually larger amounts on Coinbase. They expect it to be. So somebody drops $5,000 into their Coinbase account, and then they buy Bitcoin and try to withdraw it, red flags go up, right? They want, they're willing to lose $100, but 5,000 maybe not. I don't know. I'm just talking out of the side of my mouth. Let's go over to Luna. We were playing around with Luna earlier. First of all, let's check the latest price of Luna. It's higher than it was last week, if I'm not mistaken. It's up, it was as high as like 7 or 8 at one point, right? And I saw some article that was saying that it collapsed just like its predecessor. Well, it hasn't collapsed down to 0 yet, but it did debut around $20, and it's only around 6 yet. So whether it's going to be a good thing or not, we don't know for sure. But let's take a look at, let's go on to KuCoin. If you recall, last week, I went to my Terra Station wallet, and I had received the airdrop. and I was able to withdraw from my wallet to my KuCoin account. And if I want to, I could trade. Right now, my Luna, my 57 Luna is worth $361. More than it was last week. If I remember last week, we were under 300. It's still nowhere near what it was, before the crash, right? The old Luna, right? But I was also in, first of all, let's just go to Terra Station. Right? So we're in Terra Station, and we could see, and it's still giving me this failed to query balance on ANC and AUST. So I'm still not sure what the heck's going on. But there's no way to see my previous balance in Classic Luna or Luna Classic, right? Someone asked me, I think it was Amsterdam Holland, can you switch between the networks? And I have not been able to figure out how to do it in the web-based Terra Station. But when I went to the Terra Station extension, I was able to switch. See, as you can see, I'm on Classic right now. If we go here to the gear icon, I can and we have network, language, theme, and balance, right? I can switch back to the mainnet, which is the new one, right? If I go to Terra Station, I have all of those. I can do theme, I can do language, I can refresh, but I can't, there's nowhere to switch networks unless I'm missing something. Yeah, it's not here, it's not here. Manage wallets, no. Yeah, I couldn't find it at all. I went through every setting I could find and could not figure out how to switch back to the Classic network. But I can do it in the exchange. And they're the same wallet, right? Because it's a ledger-based wallet, right? In order to manage either of these wallets, my ledger is connected to the account. So it is the exact same wallet, right? You can see here that the balance is the same. That's what's left of my airdrop. And then they gave me 140 vested, which I can't touch until later this year, and then the rest of it next year. So maybe that'll pan out to something. Maybe it won't, right? But it's vested. I can't touch it anyway. But here, I can switch between the networks. I can go back to Classic and see, okay, so I still have 13 Luna Classic, and I still have 165 UST Classic. Not much good it's going to do me because they're basically worthless. Right? But I can also go here to Anchor. If you guys recall, when we were in Anchor last week, I couldn't go to the bonding section. Well, what happened was I went into Anchor, and then Anchor was like, hey, you're on the wrong network. And what it was here. Let's switch back to mainnet. Right, let's refresh this. And Anchor is like, you're not connected to the right network. Because Anchor is still, I have all my stuff in Anchor on the old Classic network. So I had to, then I was like, oh, well, maybe I can switch it here. Right, and that's it. I can switch back to Classic. And now Anchor, connects. Right, it sees my 165. You remember last week I couldn't figure out why it was showing me this? Because I couldn't see it here. All right. But then it was still pointing to the Classic network, even though the wallet was switched. But anyway, now apparently I can switch, and I can go to B assets and see, oh yeah, I still have 100 B Luna staked. and I can still claim some rewards of classic UST. So they're not calling it USTC. They're calling it UST. Right? And then, well, I don't see the Luna. Yeah, I see the Luna here. Yeah, they're still calling it Luna, even though technically it's Luna Classic. So I don't know what's going on with Anchor Protocol. It seems like it just kind of lost all relevance when Luna crashed. Whether they're going to upgrade and become compatible with the new Luna network or blockchain, I don't know. It would be nice if I could, like, if up here it's, yeah, I can switch to Avalanche, but I don't see a switch to new Luna. That would be ideal, right? Or the new Terra. They don't have that functionality. So, like, if I were to unbond this 100 Luna and end up with 113 of Luna Classic, there's really no way that I know that I can get an airdrop for that. I don't think I qualify. I think I got the airdrop by virtue of having this wallet on November 7th. That was when they did the snapshot. So I've already been compensated for this old Luna, which is basically worthless now. Why do I prefer Ledger? Well, as I mentioned, let's see if we can. Different wallets for different use cases, right? Ledger is my go-to wallet, but I also like the Trezor hardware wallet, which I find is a great wallet, very useful. I've used the Bitcoin Electrum wallet in the past, which was a good wallet for BitPay. It was compatible with BitPay, whereas Ledger wasn't for a while. So I remember I wanted to use my Bitcoin to buy something on Newegg, like a processor or a motherboard or something, and I had Bitcoin and I wanted to spend it, but I couldn't. When I went to Newegg, they were using BitPay, which is a third-party payment processor, and the Ledger Live was not compatible with BitPay. I don't know if it is now. So I used the Electrum Bitcoin wallet. I put some Bitcoin in there and was able to use BitPay. Right? So it just depends on your situation. And this Ballet wallet, like I said, it's kind of cool. I like it. It's aesthetic. I think it would be kind of cool to like put it up on a mantelpiece. So I could do that. But I'm not going to put huge amounts of Bitcoin because there's that trust issue, right? And then, you know, there are other wallets that I use to manage other cryptos besides Ledger Live. I use the Kepler wallet. While we're at it, why don't we just check in with Kepler wallet, right? So we still have this Ledger, we still have this Osmosis wallet that has some Osmosis and some Chihuahua and some Luna in here. Oh, they're calling it Luna. I could have sworn it said Luna C earlier. It's like, oh my God. All right, so let's go to Osmosis. Let's check it out. It's like they're acting like it's the first time I've ever gone on here, or they've updated their terms of service. Let's go to Assets. And Luna Classic is still disabled deposits and withdrawal. So I believe I could sell this if I wanted to. And I had someone ask me, why can't I withdraw this? They were getting an error message saying that they didn't have enough to pay the fees. And I think the problem was they didn't have that much Luna. They may have only had like 50 or 100 Luna, which is now like less than a penny. So they didn't even have enough to pay fees to make a transfer. But they were like, oh, I want to move it into Terra Station so I can get my airdrop. And so I said, well, even if you could, you wouldn't qualify for the airdrop because the airdrop snapshot was on the 7th. So you can't just move your Luna into the TerraStation wallet after the fact and think you'll qualify for the airdrop. Airdrops don't work like that. They take time-sensitive snapshots. You had to have had your Luna in the wallet on a certain date, in this case, the 7th of May. Or there was a post-attack date that was like the 12th or something. So, but now you can't just move Luna that you bought on Osmosis into TerraStation and qualify for the airdrop. It doesn't work like that. But anyway, the Luna was so worthless, there wasn't even enough to pay a 5-cent fee, right? Because she only had like 50 or 100 Luna. That's what happens when cryptos become worthless, right? Oh my God. Let's put us through the ringer, right? This whole fiasco of the crash of Luna has, put a stain on the entire crypto industry and market sentiment on the crypto industry. What a clever way to destroy people's faith in the crypto system by bringing one of the major cryptos down, right? They couldn't bring Bitcoin down. Bitcoin is robust, very secure, never had any downtime, right? Neither has Litecoin. I was reading an article that says, why is everyone using Solana? Solana is too centralized. It just went down again this week, but people still buy it, even though Litecoin and Bitcoin have never had any downtime at all, right? They're robust, secure systems, right? But they attack Luna and UST and make everyone lose confidence in the crypto world. And then they have, these... Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention this article. It talks of these guys that wrote this letter that is critical of everything crypto are just a bunch of crypto shills, right? They notable anti-crypto Twitter trolls, right? They're not like experts, right? Just a bunch of shills, right? But anyway, so the Terra fiasco has made people lose faith in crypto in general and crypto investment specifically, right? So we're in kind of a bad time right now. What about gold? Well, I own gold. You should always own. You should diversify, right? Own a little stock. The stock that I own isn't doing anything lately. Gold still pretty, has its own intrinsic value, so to speak, right? Got ammo, got food, got toothpaste, right? I mean, there are times when, like, you might have like gold, a gold coin, an ounce of gold, right? And the financial system has collapsed, right? And you want to trade, for some food, like a meal, right? You're gonna give somebody that whole ounce of gold for that meal, or you're gonna trade them, a pack of toothpaste, right? Those kind of commodities might be more valuable in a bartering society than a gold coin, right? Unless you've got like little tiny eighth coins or some silver, maybe you're willing to part with one silver coin for, a can of soup, or a, 6-pack of soup, or a 6-pack of beer, right? So crypto may not be worth much in the barter society, maybe will neither gold, right? Silver is worthless compared to gold. Well, that's another possibility. Yeah. But, like I said, if we're in a barter society, even silver and gold aren't going to be worth that much, I'll trade you my silver coin for, a case of chunky soup. And the guy's like, I don't need that silver, I can't eat it. And it's like, but my wife wants toothpaste and mouthwash. You got that? Okay, we'll swap some. Right? Or spam. I'll trade you some spam for some, fresh vegetables you grew in your garden, whatever. Anyway, let's hope it doesn't get to that point, right? let's see. Did I have anything I wanted to do tonight? We wanted to play around with. We transferred some Bitcoin. We transferred some Ethereum. Let's see if it has arrived. Yes. So we got the Ethereum. We talked about that already, right? That was a done deal. Let's go over here. Okay, finally we got the Bitcoin. But I'm still like, I don't understand. So we've confirmed both transfers, right? But I'm still like really upset that I can't withdraw that Bitcoin. Whoops. Oh. Yeah, maybe they're going to make me wait for a whole day or 2 weeks, God forbid, to withdraw this Bitcoin. I'm just really kind of upset about that. Nope, still won't let me do it. Okay. Go figure. Diamonds are better than gold in Minecraft, LOL. Yes, but netherite. Isn't that the most valuable of all? My son. It's funny, my son, who's in 3rd grade, wrote a huge report, like a whole book, on explaining Minecraft to his teacher. And like it had several chapters in it where he talked about all the elements of Minecraft and how it works. And I read it and I was like, wow, that's like, I learned more about Minecraft than I really had known. And I've known about Minecraft for years, you know. I gave it to my daughter when she was young, and my son, they've been playing it for a long time. But that little book that he wrote in 3rd grade was very educational, right? I learned that netherite is it's like a very rare item. Oh my God. Okay. All right, so we got those transfers. I kind of was hoping to move some into that wallet, which I thought was kind of cool. Let's see here. I still can't share my phone. That's the problem. Still have an issue with the phone. I'm going to try one more time. If we can get the phone to share, then I'll show you the app for the Ballet. In the meantime, let's see what else. We got the Luna. I showed you, if you had Luna in the wallet, the Terra Station wallet, then you qualified for the airdrop. Now I'm assuming if you had Luna on Kraken or Binance, that you also qualified for the airdrop. I understand that those, and then I guess Hobwai. Still can't get that phone to share. That's a bummer. Okay. Did I always use my credit card to pay the fee? Both of those transactions that I just did were ACH bank transfers. I was not using my debit card in those. I made that purchase directly from my bank account. Now I do have my debit card connected, but the purchase that I made was from my Chase Bank. And I've been doing that for a while now because the debit card fees are higher than the bank transfer fees. And then over on Kraken, I was also using my bank account when I made that purchase, if you recall. Right? I wasn't using a particular credit card. Right? That was an ACH bank transfer, not credit card. And it comes right out of my bank. But I'm not going to buy any Kusama right now. Okay, so where were we here? Let's see. We checked for Osmosis. We're still out. We did the Ballet Crypto. That's pretty much it. I hope that the community hangs in there, right? There's a lot of narrative management going on right now. Like in particular, this letter that was written by a bunch of shills you know, trying to discourage Congress, and they represent themselves as being experts. And if you recall, the average age of your average congressman is like, they're all a bunch of probably old guys, right? Although there has been some change, Congress, maybe not so much the Senate, but there are a lot of younger congressmen these days, a lot of younger, more female, more people of color. So the demographics of the members of Congress have been evolving over time, but in general, most of them are into politics. They're not really into like crypto. They probably are financially secure. Most people that run for Congress are, you know, financially successful people, like lawyers or whatever, that have conservative holdings like stocks and bonds and, you know, money in the bank and that kind of thing. So, and they're not particularly tech savvy or crypto savvy. You know, I'm sure they all know how to work a smartphone, but they can easily be swayed by experts who claim, you know, people who claim to be experts. They're constantly being bombarded by lobbyists who claim to be working in their interest and are experts in their field, right? They got the pharma lobbyists, they've got the food lobbyists, they've got like the military lobbyists that are, you know, always in their ear, right? Claiming to be authorities, right? And then now they have these like these crypto shills claiming to also be authorities that are advising them against change, right? Conservative, the definition of a conservative is people that believe the system is fine the way it is. That's the definition of what a conservative is. In America, that means a lot more than just that, right? Now it's supposedly you're a white supremacist too. But in general, conservative means they think things are good the way they are and change is bad or not great, right? A liberal is a person who thinks the system should change. But most congressmen, as far as financial system is concerned, are conservatives, right? They believe in the system backs them, they get campaign contributions from people that are in the system, from bankers, from, you know, big companies, right? And now you've got this emergent technology which they don't really know that much about, and you got these shills writing them these letters claiming to be authorities on the subject, telling them how bad change is, how this new financial system is bad, right? So it's tough, all right? But the crypto community, like I mentioned in this article, has fired back, you know, and the Twitter thread is pretty good rebuttal of every point they make. So I would encourage you to check out that Twitter thread. If you read that letter and you were a little bit convinced, I would suggest checking out that Twitter thread, because he does a rebuttal of most of the things they say in that letter. There are a lot of assertions in this letter that have no backup. I think what has backup? They haven't supported any of their assertions with facts or references. You know, it's mostly just a lecture about how crypto is bad, and it uses all the same anti-crypto tropes we've been hearing over the years, right? But now, with the Terra fiasco fresh in people's minds, now the sharks are circling, right? They smell blood in the water, so now they're pouncing, right? Everything was hunky-dory back in 2020 and 2021. You know, everyone was pro-crypto, right? Elon Musk was going to accept Bitcoin for Teslas. Everybody was like happy-go-lucky, let's jump on the crypto train. Now that the market's down, you know, we got all of the shills come out of the woodwork, all the naysayers and the crypto skeptics, you know, starting to, oh boy, now I can get clicks again, you know. Let's see. I don't know if there's anything that I left out. We didn't really go into too much. I did a little bit of transfer. We talked about the news. Let's see. 8 billion people will all want some Bitcoin eventually, and there's only ever going to be 21 million, much less counting what's been lost. Good point, Dave. It is a finite resource. That's one of the reasons that I'm still holding my Bitcoin. I'm not selling it. Exactly right, and we can expect things to get better with such an accepted broken system. Yeah, we have to remember that the alternative is on shaky legs. The alternative is what we have now, the debt-based financial system. On its last legs, according to many, right? I've been reading a lot of doomsday sayers over the last 10 years about how the financial system is on thin ice and will collapse soon, and it just never happens, right? But lately, I've been reading more and more mainstream commentators in financial websites talking about how we're on thin ice, right? And I'm kind of like, oh, okay, if these guys, these Wall Street analysts are talking about how the U.S. reserve currency status is in danger over this Ukraine-Russian situation, and the sanctions regime, is putting the financial reserves, the reserve status of the U.S. dollar in jeopardy. These are mainstream people, right? So this system, this house of cards, is more than any time that since I've been alive being questioned. The alternative, or one of the alternatives, is Bitcoin, right? A decentralized system, a new type of currency that can be sent across the room or across the world with equal ease, is an alternative to that system, right? Most people are in debt up to their eyeballs, and they're slaves to the system. So Bitcoin is an alternative to that, right? The market price of Bitcoin is kind of just noise, right? So I think a lot of you guys agree with me. AOC has an IQ lower than her age, I think, LOL. It's all about character and intent. The higher the quality of what you're involved in, infrastructure, culture, school, medical, etc. systems. We have too many extremely low quality character intent fellow humans in these positions of influence. Yeah, I think I was talking about the mindset of your typical congressman or lawmaker or senator, right? They're invested in the system, they're supported by the system, they're tied to the system. So it's in their interest to maintain the current system. There are some, that are a little more far-seeking. Most of them seem to have their own interest at heart. Doesn't seem like we have that many people that are interested in, the little guy anymore, right? They're sort of they're beholden to their donors, and their donors are usually rich and powerful. They sort of maintain the status quo, unfortunately. So we have an alternate system, a decentralized system. We might be buy local, stay local. We might lose access to this system, right? The dollar might collapse. The rampant inflation in Turkey and in Pakistan. I've read some articles. Pakistan is on the verge of collapse, economic collapse due to inflation. Sri Lanka is on the verge of collapse due to inflation, food crisis. So we could be having those same kind of problems. And Bitcoin might be an alternative to that system. But if the system breaks down, we're in for a lot of pain. So I don't know how much good Bitcoin will do us if the entire system breaks down. But hopefully it'll be a transition, right? It'll be a transition to a better system, better community, more just, equitable system. Okay, so we got smart real fast. Show me the money. America, you have good opinion. For an American, you have good opinion. So thank you. Allowing China to buy so many U.S. bonds really is a red flag for the dollar. Please say you're not voting for the lesser of evils. That makes things worse. We should always strive for the best person for the job. Is it all by design? Question mark. Hi, Rex and Dan. I staked some cake and the pool ended. I looked it a couple of times and said, I'll move it. Do you know how to claim your farm or pool once it's over? Let's jump into that. That's happened to me a couple of times. So if we go over to Pancake, let's switch over to the Binance Smart Chain. They usually, I think we go to pools here. Okay, so this little toggle right here, you've got live and finished. You can go to finished to find like a pool that may have expired, and if you're still in that pool, you should be able to get out of it, right? So if you switch from live to finished, you might still see like the cake pool that you were in, and then from there be able to get out, like deallocate from the pool if you're in an older pool. I believe that's where it is, between live and finished. That should, if you go to finished, you might be able to locate that pool that expired, and then you would remove, right? Like in my case, like here, you've got this plus minus, right? If you go to the finished one and find one that you still have deposits in, you should be able to like do your negative and get out of it, right? Just like unstake. That should work, because that happened to me not too long ago. The pool I was in finished, so I basically did an unstake, and then I went back to live and was able to restake in the current one. They've been through several iterations. I hope that was helpful. What do I think of Farmcoin? I don't know much about Farmcoin. Let's see where we are here. I think I've heard of Farmcoin. Yeah. See, any coin that that claims to be investing for you. I don't know if it's this coin. Well, let's see. Let's see if I can get that. Are you talking about this Harvest Finance? Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of amalgamators or aggregators or whatever, where you like put crypto into them. Okay, they're not going to let me do it because it's not in the US. But it does allow me to connect a wallet. So I would maybe dip your toe in something like this, but and this isn't what I was about to decry. This is not exactly what I was talking about. There are some companies out there that claim to be crypto companies that say, you know, deposit $5,000 with us and we'll put your money to work in crypto, and like they invested for you in supposedly these baskets of cryptos. Most of those are scams. Right? Anybody that wants your money up front and then they've got some kind of perfect trading strategy that's going to give you a guaranteed 20% return. Don't buy that kind of crap, right? I don't think this is that though. This is looks like a it looks like they have several chains here, right? Whoops. Looks like you can do Binance Smart Chain, you can do Ethereum, you can do Polygon. I've heard of them before. So, and then we're looking here, 591, respectable, not that high, but right now, crypto in general is on pretty shaky ground. I'm not myself really buying anything right now, and if I am, it's only like top tier crypto. I'm not throwing $1,000 or $500 into these little cryptos right now. It could be a good idea if you got money to burn, but I would not bet the farm on some small cap crypto right now. It's not a good time to be gambling on small caps when even Bitcoin and Ethereum are we still don't know whether we're at that, we're going back up or we're still due for a huge downturn. So right now I'm not gambling. I'm not buying. I'm putting a little bit, if some money that I can afford, probably going into Bitcoin or Ethereum like I demoed tonight. Now is not the time to be gambling huge amounts on lower end cryptos. But I don't see anything particularly wrong with Harvest. I've heard of them. They've been around a while. But just because it's a good idea doesn't mean... if we look at the chart of this, let's look at their chart. Let's look at their 1 year chart. Pretty dismal, right? It's, it was at 305 and now it's down to like 43. So it's lost a significant amount. Such a hard time. Sure, you could hold the, if you want to buy the governance token, might not be a bad idea because it is way off its highs. So, but probably not a great time to be jumping into yield farming right now with the way things are in the crypto market. Anyway, I don't mean to be a downer. If you want investment advice, you probably go watch BitBoy or whatever, or some other like influencer that's more into the market side of things, because I'm not. Right, I'm more into the crypto management. Anyway, guys, yeah, I know this. I don't know what's wrong with my OBS Studio. I thought I had fixed that issue, but it's still giving me a hard time. Anyway, gonna go. It's been nice tonight. Sorry I couldn't have helped more people. This watch could have helped one more person. Anyway, guys, have a good night. I'll be back next week as usual. We do this at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please join me again for the live stream from Michigan, where you can throw out questions and I'll do my best to get them answered. Hope to see you there. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, I would appreciate it. When you subscribe, there's a little bell that you can click that will allow you to be alerted whenever I post new content. Once again, thanks for joining me and hope to see you again.